My company's late and sick policies are biting them, and now they're crying about it. We'll do the late policy first. We have to clock in at a machine. And in the past, the rule was that if you were late, you'd lose money in 15-minute blocks until you clocked in. Management started crying because suddenly no one who was late by less than 10 minutes. Generally stopping to grab a drink or have a cigarette on the way in. Because they've already lost the pay, right? And decided to take action. Now you lose an hour's pay the moment you're late. I don't know anyone who has been late by less than 55 minutes since the rule came out. Whole focus group happened, and people pointed out that heavy-handed policies invite exploitation. We asked how they expected people who for whatever reason, were running late that day, work for no pay, and they just shrugged. In the end, anyone who knows they're going to be late for work now knows to just slow down and relax. Grab a coffee. And stop at a shop. No rush. Well done, management. Now, on to absence. Absence was a fairly big issue a few years ago. And they didn't like it. Action time. On top of a 2-day no sick pay rule, they now have a no excuses disciplinary policy. 2 days off, and you get a disciplinary. Standard chain of disciplinaries that leads up to you getting sacked. The problem is, now, if I get sick, and I'm off for 2 days, I might as well make the most of it. I'm in no more trouble for being off longer. There's no maximum time, whether it's 3 days or 18 months. I come back and get a stage 1 disciplinary. So I've done my 2 days unpaid. I'm now getting my sick pay. It's been a while since the last holiday. And there's a long slog to the next one. How much time can I afford to have off? Again, focus group. Heavy-handed policies invite exploitation. Shrugs. If you're going to beat us for minor infractions, which sometimes can't be helped, we're going to make our infraction worth the punishment. Overall, the company noticed a trend of 10 to 15-minute lateness and 2 to 4 day absences, which they didn't like. After having brought in new policies to combat this, the company now has a trend of 45 to 55-minute lateness and 1 to 2 week absences. Further policy changes are being discussed. I can't wait for the results of that. Depending on your country, this is a form of wage theft and absolutely not legal or allowable. People on hourly are paid from the second they engage in work-related activities, not when the company decides. Report this to whatever your labor relations department is. Chances are this will have officials swarming over the company. We're going to make our infraction worth the punishment. I of that sentence. This is what happens when you try to control people. Honestly, this is how humans work. As someone who has 2 kids, if you try and make a stifling rule, humans will do everything they can to get around it. Please tell me people who are seriously ill and hospitalized are not subject to this no excuses disciplinary policy? If they are, your employer needs to be named, shamed, and boycotted, especially during a pandemic. Hate this policy crap. Humans are human. My late policy at work is odd. If I get caught up and call to tell them I'm on my way, basically the reply is might as well call in for the whole day because nobody cares. Late is late. I used to work for a company where they had something kind of similar. They didn't dock your pay at all, but their attendance system was based on points. 1 call out equals 1 point. So if you were 1 minute late, you wouldn't lose any pay, but you would have 1/2 a point against you as if you missed half a shift. There were times I was a few minutes late, which was very rare in my 3 years there, as I try to be punctual. So I just said F it. I'll go in before lunch. Going to be penalized the same whether I'm a minute late or 3 hours and 59 minutes late. Why are you fighting people for 20 to 30 minutes tardiness? Geez, if you are more flexible because you know real life like traffic. Couldn't get my kid to babysitter in time. Car problems. Uber was late. Uber got cancelled. Train was late. Etc. You forgive those little things. The people are more likely to stay for you and do you favors back. Hey, you wanna stay a little bit and finish this task cause you were late this week? Quote. Come on man, show some sense. Whatever happens. As a rule, it's always in the company's favor. 1 minute late equals trouble. But 7 minutes overtime is normal or to be expected. R. Malicious compliance. It looks like these changes are illegal. They must pay you first all the time you work. There is no such thing as free labor when an employer decides it. That's not work, it's slavery. File a wage claim with your State Department of Labor. If you have sick days as a policy, they, again, VAT just not pay it on a whim. Again, wage claim with doll. I hope they see their failure. If not, get ready for an ego trip and their lack of humility doubles down into cruelty. Best wishes. Myself, I am ready to see action taken further than demanding reform. I wonder if you have any legal footing for an hour compensation if you leave a minute later than clock out time? I would get an attorney's point of view. Like in high school. Welp, it's 1 a.m. I missed curfew. Might as well just stay out all night and come home at 5 a.m. and by then the parents are in such a deep sleep. They won't hear you open the door. It worked perfectly. My company changed their attendance as well. It used to be if you're 7 minutes late you get 0.5 points. The same as if you were 3 hours late. So if you were 7 minutes late you might as well not show for another 3 hours if you don't need the cash. This was unacceptable, so they changed it to if you're 7 minutes late it's the same as if you called out for the whole day. Suddenly if I hit traffic on my 45-minute commute I now say fuck it and call out. I get the day off, I guess. You have to leave a message saying why you're calling out and I just say, hey, this is bling. I was going to be 8 minutes late, so since it's the same as not being there for the whole day I might as well enjoy the day off. Such a good read. Malicious compliance in employees' favor. My uncle used to work at a dairy plant where you got an extra $50 in your check if you were on time all week. People exploited it. But I believe incentives are more successful than punishments. That is just standard wage theft. That isn't legal. They can't dock you an hour. The doll will have a field day. Call them now. I was going to ask if this was Geico, but I don't see a required doctor's note for sick time. This is what happens when management focus on the small minor shit and turn into some monumental nothing. It was not really an issue, but someone on management got triggered and had to make it into something. That idiot in management had too much time and too little work to focus on small petty shit. Man. Some managers are abusive, misguided, have their priorities out of line. These jackholes are plain fucking stupid.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.